Normally Weird and Weirdly Normal. My Adventures in Neurodiversity by Robin Ince, and read by me, Robin Ince. Who it's dedicated to. The first is Ed, who's been my friend for 40 years, and you'll meet him in the book as well. And for Ed, I also say to him, remember Leningrad. It's also dedicated to Jamie and Lion, who sent me a message before I knew them, which was, I think it might be worth exploring the neurodivergent model a bit. That is one of the most important sentences I've ever received in a DM because it changed my life. And finally, it's dedicated to the Sold charity shop in Shoreham, because not only is it just the most wonderful Aladdin's cave of so many strange and delightful things, it is also a place where people with learning differences are truly shown their worth and potential. And it is a wonderful place. So when you're in Shoreham by Sea, visit it. A brief note. Throughout this audiobook, I may well refer to a lot of people by their first name only. Now, that's because my research has consisted of many direct interviews, but has also drawn on people's reaction to questions I've posed on social media. So, although all of those I engage with on social media were fully aware their input may well be used in this book, I decided I'd not use their full names because, though society is hopefully becoming less judgmental about people's mental health, there's still a way to go, and not everyone wants their work colleagues, etc., to know their inner workings and the life of their mind. I'd also like to make it clear that though this book may veer towards appealing to those who are defined as neurodivergent, I think being human is weird from the outset. So however neurotypical you may be, you're still a weirdo to me, and I mean that as a compliment. Introduction. But you are weird. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I am weird. I've always known I was weird, but if I was in any doubt, then my wife would often remind me by saying, why do you always say such weird things? As yet another bemused person walks away from me at a party. She's not alone. I'm very good at engendering quizzical looks. My long-time touring and podcast partner, Professor Brian Cox, has a habit of saying, you know that no one knows what you're talking about. But this is not entirely true. Some people know exactly what I'm talking about, and it turns out there are more of them than you might imagine. Though there are some who walk away at gatherings, there are others who I make an instant, lifelong connection with. You might be one of them, and if not, hopefully you will be by the end of the book. But before we break down our weirds, let's address the elephant in the room. However normal you think you are weird. For instance, you are listening to words. Does your cat listen to books? Does your hamster do crosswords? Does your dog worry that its new collar doesn't really go with its ears? And while we're on the topic, why does your dog insist on having sex with another dog so indiscreetly? Going for it in the park in broad daylight in front of the Salvation Army band? Even if you do not consider yourself a weird human, your weirdness is inescapable because you are a human. And in the natural order of things, to be human is to be quite odd. You have inner thoughts. They may help you know that you are alive. You experience shame. You use complex language. You say things you don't mean. You want to be in charge, but there are things that are out of your hands. You cannot argue yourself out of an upset stomach, or truly fake a smile, or stop yourself blushing. You cannot control who you fall in love with, and you can't always persuade them to fall in love with you back. You are aware that others may be judging you, even though you can't hear them say a thing. You know that one day you will die, and the world will continue without you. Now that is a lot to take on. So, however normal you think you are, always remember, you are weird. By our current understanding, beyond being one of the rare living things to inhabit the universe, it is your thoughts that are your greatest oddity.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?